Hey everybody, this is Kyla here from Waveflow, the mindfulness practice that creates ripples of acceptance, meaning, and appreciation. This month, I'm hosting a 10 days of gratitude program in celebration of my new to the market gratitude journaling workbook, Ripple. In this episode, I caught up with my friend Emily Kauffman, a fellow yoga teacher at Thoroughbred Studio in Mill Valley. Emily is a timeless soul. You can find her working with flowers at Thoroughbred. Sometimes she's racing around Marin with their fun and hardworking running team or teaching classes herself. We dove into how we each create space for imagination, who has inspired us to pursue something out of the norm, how our lives are well integrated right now, and what's on our bucket lists. Enjoy our conversation and don't forget to try the Waveflow practice for yourself. I'll drop all the prompts in the show notes, and I invite you to try out Waveflow's free mobile app or get a copy of my workbook Ripple to discover layers of possibility and meaning making through a month-long commitment to the Waveflow gratitude journaling practice. You can get it on Amazon or at waveflowapp.com. Okay, here's my conversation with Emily. Hi, everybody. I'm here with my friend Emily, and Emily is she's like a timeless soul. I got to know her through the team at Thoroughbred Studio, which is a yoga, running, and strength training studio in Mill Valley, and I'm so happy our paths crossed. So, Emily, welcome to Waveflow, and thank you for being open to doing this practice with me.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Okay, we'll hop right into our first prompt. What's a place that creates space for imagination for you?
Whoa. Okay, I had two things that immediately came into my mind, so I'm going to cheat and give two answers. One is I work with flowers, and I think that is creative in and of itself. And when people come to you and say, like, I don't really know what these flowers are, but like I know what I want it to look like. And they're able to be like, this color. I like when it shoots up like that, or it's tight like this, and you can kind of create it in your mind. Um, but then you also get to bring it to life, which is really fun. Um, and it comes with challenges, which is also fun. Like you think a flower is going to turn a certain way, but it like wants to live to the left, not to the right, and you have to kind of like move with the flowers. They tell you like where they want to go, and kind of like a lot of life you kind of have to just sorry. Kind of like a lot of life, you just have to like lean in instead of lean out and trust like where the signs are leading you. So I'd say flowers are a huge imagination place because it starts with an idea and then you get to put it into practice. And I think I'm definitely like I can be an endpoint person, not always like a journey person. And so it helps me like, yes, I get to think about getting to the end, but the enjoyable part is the process of making the bouquet. And I was just talking to somebody about, well, it's been coming up a lot, like flow state and how like running feels meditative to me. It doesn't feel like a flow, and yoga feels meditative to me. It doesn't, I mean, we're flowing, but it doesn't feel like the thing where like time disappears and you're just like in it. And I feel like right now, flowers is that for me. Like if there isn't a deadline and I'm just playing, it feels it feels like play and imagination. Um, my second answer was like when you're hiking or walking in nature, but I think that that is a similar thing to the flowers because flowers are also from nature. So I think nature in general. is that thing for me.
It's so beautiful how you talk about like the flowers like being alive and leaning a certain way. That's really cool. Okay, for me, a space for imagination. The first thing that came into my head, for better or for worse, is the like digital creation platforms Canva and Pinterest.
Mm,
Yeah, and I draw so much inspiration from both of those platforms. And like whenever, because I do like social media for a few businesses, and even just in the way I've like developed Waveflow, or even like in my house, like at any space where I'm creating, whether it's like digital or a real life space or like a flyer, like it could be anything. I usually start by like having not necessarily a vision board, like that may be too exaggerated, but I'll have an idea or like something that I'm like, oh, that's really beautiful. Like, I wonder how that would look as this in this other medium. And then I will search like ideas on Pinterest and then I'll like bring it to life on Canva. So I'm just really appreciative of the both those spaces because like I don't even know how to use Photoshop and I'm just thinking about it like I've made a lot of stuff with just that and like that's pretty cool like that someone had that idea to like build those kinds of platforms or I guess teams. But yeah, like so much inspiration coming out of those spaces for me.
yeah, Canva and Pinterest, both. Like you can get lost in a good way.
Yeah.
Like
Talk
it's
about time disappear.
yeah, time
Yeah,
goes away. You're
for
like, wait,
better or
I've
for
been,
worse.
yeah, wait, it's
Oh,
an hour. I'm just working on which color purple to use.
yeah, like seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll flow right into our next prompt. Share about somebody who inspired you to take a unique adventure this month.
Ooh. Yeah. My friend Alex, who I've known since I met her when I was 14. She guided, I did a couple backpack expeditions and she guided those. And at the time it was like, haha, this is kind of weird because I'm 14 and you're 24, but like we're gonna be best friends one day. And then I went to college in Washington where she lived and or lives and then I would stay with her during the summer and got to go to her wedding and nannied her kids and they came to Mill Valley over the summer. We almost got together, but it didn't happen. That's okay next time. But anyway, she in general is a mentor and a friend and a sister and just like she sees me and she is just doing a lot of like the work, the personal work on like, whoa, these are things that I do that I've been like trying to shift this habit or like implement something new and I say it, but like I'm not doing it. And she invited me to, or she was talking about her experience at this women's retreat that she did. And so we went back this past a couple weeks ago and women are magical, A, and powerful and like forces and just being in a group of women, being vulnerable, talking about the deepest parts of themselves, the dark, their shadow side, all the things they love about themselves, and kind of working through a lot of this stuff to like step into your power and this idea of like it's not out in front of you and it's not over there in that box, it's like right here with you and you just have to open the lid or like step into the position of being that powerful being because I think things can feel intimidating or like spaces can feel like, ooh, I feel small for that space or I don't know how to like walk into here. But when you shift the perspective, like this space isn't intimidating, like maybe you're intimidating, you're able to embody that, like not intimidating in a bad way, but just like you're the power to walk through. So, long story short, there's just been these noodlings about a lot of the things we were talking about, and she this door opened, and I was like, I needed this door. I needed this space, this room, these people, and to implement that back. So it felt like a a life-changing sort of experience.
So cool. Okay, for a unique adventure this month, I guess earlier this week, my parents were in town visiting from New York, and my experience of, I guess, motherhood has been that my it's sort of like my time has felt really scarce and like really stretched. And so like while it's been the biggest gift and like it's amazing, and it feels like internally I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to maximize any moment where I have childcare. And especially because then like the kids get sick, like all these things happen and they're like not in school. So this week my parents were visiting, and it was like the last day of their visit, and they were kind enough to like come support me. They took a yoga class with me in the city, and then they were texting me after I was doing work at the studio, and they were like, "Why don't you come meet us for lunch? Like we'll take you out to lunch." And like it was so funny because so I was like, you know what? Like screw it. Like I didn't have clothes or anything. I just went gross and sweaty to this lunch, and we were like sitting outside on Fillmore Street in San Francisco, absolutely beautiful part of the city, and just had this like French lunch, and it was like so like I felt went to this lunch and just felt like I didn't have a care in the world. Like it was really cool, and I like hadn't had that experience in a little while. So yeah, I'm like really I need to text them and tell them I'm just like appreciative of my parents for just like offering the space to just like unplug and like be a human again. And like it's just like the scarcity of time can get me into this mindset where like I'm like, okay, like I have all this stuff I want to create and put out into the world, and it's like really hard for me to like I meditate and I absolutely do take space for myself, but this felt like fun, indulgent in like a way that is sort of unusual for me. So yeah, that's like not that unique, but that's what I thought of. Um, okay, we'll
But
move
it's
right
huge.
along. Yeah, I mean it's
It's
real.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. Oh, this is a good one. We could probably talk about this one all day. So we'll cap our responses for a few moments. Okay. In what ways, or pick away, do you feel like your life is integrated well right now?
Coming off of the last question, I would say I integration has been huge the last couple weeks of like everything I was just saying, but um the biggest thing that I'm integrating right now is like uh loving and caring about people does not mean that you have to carry the weight of the things going on in their life. Like you can show support and be there for people and express that you're there, and also like keep yourself safe from oversharing or taking on too much, either way it's going. And that's been a challenge for me. Like for 26 years, and I'm hoping going into 27 like I will get this down or at least be better at it. But in the last couple weeks, like I think in the past I feel like if I don't feel it, then it's dismissive, or yeah, it's dismissive of their emotion or what they're going through, or I'm not like in it with them. And now I'm kind of like, yeah, that's a lot. Like that's hard. And that can be hard over there. And I can see it for you. And also like it doesn't have to be hard for me. And I can like live in my present moment with what emotions are going on for me. And that's gonna help me be a pillar for that person in the long run, and be less of like, instead of limping with them, like being that foundation. Um And so that's been something I've been trying out because there's so many people in the world and you just get hit with stuff and you're just like, okay, and letting it kind of brush off instead of like enter my being. It's still hard and it's still not 10 out of 10 times, but even if it's like 5 out of 10 times, it's a win. And noticing how much lighter I feel and how much more like space I have for myself in that to then do the things that are going to fill my cup.
Ooh, yeah, that's a practice. Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, my life integration. I feel very proud of myself right now for the I'm working on projects right now that feel very aligned to my like purpose in the world. And when I think to like what my intentions in the world are, it's gratitude and family. And I just feel like I'm leaning really, really hard into both of those things right now. And it's not always easy. So, like for example, like I'm working really hard, like I'm trying to, or I am learning CSS right now so I can like eventually learn React so I can make these updates in the Waveflow app myself just because I think it would fulfill my own like desire to express creatively through tech. And it's almost like the easier path would for me would like I have years of operations and marketing experience. I could probably get a great operations or marketing job and like then I would have the steady salary and then like be able to get all the things. You know what like just with little kids, like it just feels like that feels like almost the easy path right now instead of like, all right, we're gonna like forge our own path and like no boss is telling me what to do. I figure out what to do. Like it's almost like um I'm proud of myself for like resisting almost like the temptation to just say, all right, like I'm just gonna like work for someone else's mission because like that's almost like for me, like it would be not it would be like the opposite of self-confidence. Like it would be like me saying like I don't believe in myself, like so I'm just gonna like give this up when I know in my head like it's what I really want to pursue. So in that ways like in that way like I do feel really integrated because like when I am working it's like for something I is very meaningful to me. And it wasn't always like that. Like I worked for other people for a really long time and so I'm excited by that and it is like it's really cool and it's like a gift that I don't take lightly that I'm able to do that. So yeah.
Kyla, go.
Yeah, okay. All right, this is a fun one. We will close with our last prompt. Share something that is on your life bucket list.
Ooh. Okay, wait. I have to think about this. Do you have yours?
I, okay, I'm trying. What came to mind first is, well, I feel like for some reason, like when the people say the word bucket list, my mind goes to like travel. Like I can't,
Hmm.
almost like I can't like associate the word bucket list without like a map or something.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and there's like a whole list of places I really want to explore. And one of those things on that list is I would love to spend time in another country with like some combination of my kids. So
Mhm.
I don't think this doesn't need to be for a while. It doesn't need to be in the next few years, but I have this like vision of us taking a few weeks off of work or school or whatever it is and like going and living in another culture. And I just think that that's like an experience I'm really hoping to have with my family one day. Doesn't need to be for super long, but maybe for a few weeks. And then the other one, this is embarrassing to admit in being a person who lives in Northern California, I have never gone camping. I know Emily's
Let's do it.
I know I've never been camping and I keep telling Andrew I'm like I really want to like go on a camping trip and I don't it's almost like a little intimidating because I haven't ever been. And then then you add on the layer of like the two toddlers. So it's like, where would we sleep? Like, how would that even work? Like, where do you go to the bathroom? I have a lot of questions. So I think that I am confident that we will eventually go camping, but it is, and Andrew's done tons of camping and outdoorsy stuff, but I've just never slept outside. And I feel like it's something I should absolutely eventually do. So that is very solidly on my bucket list.
Those feel doable. Those feel like you got that. I believe in you. Um, I think I'm partially feeling stuck because like it's now 2 years ago, but like van life was like a huge thing for me. And like we kind of just like 2 years ago, Lucius and I, my partner and I went to New Zealand and lived in a van for 3 months. And so I feel like that was a huge check mark for me. But something that's like I've always wanted to do, I have no idea if I'll ever do it, but it's like a sailing trip. Like a lot, like more than a week on a sailboat from someplace to someplace. And preferably warm, but hey, I won't be picky if it comes my way. I think like, or like sailing in Alaska too, like some sort of somewhere on a boat would be epic, but more than just like a week. Yeah.
To clarify, would is this like a cruise or like you're sailing the boat? What's
No,
happening?
I think like I would have to learn how to sail. Or like I'm with people that know how to sail, maybe. Like I don't know if I need to be the one doing the rigging stuff, but more like I guess I should if I'm having the experience. Yeah, we'll say I know how to sail and I'm on a sailboat for over a week, going from point A to point B, seeing something new.
Okay, if anyone's listening from the yachting scene in Sausalito, Tehran, or San Francisco, please contact Emily. Emily, where can they find you? Where are you teaching? Where are you floristing? What's going on?
Yeah, I teach yoga at Thoroughbred Studio, which Kyla mentioned, which is in Mill Valley. I live in Tam Valley. You can come over for dinner or we can drink tea or coffee. And I run a flower shop in Kentfield, which is a little bit north of that. So lots of fun.
Emily, thank you for hopping on. Thank you for practicing Waveflow with me. We'll see you soon.